What might your name be, young man?
Dave Brandt.
And where are we from?
Costa Mesa at the moment.
Costa Mesa. Could you spell your last name for us, please?
Brant.
Wonderful. We're so excited about this. We're having a little fun this afternoon.
That's what I heard.
First of all, we have a question or two to ask, if you would care to answer.
Well, let's come up with a question.
You'd like a question first? Okay. How long have you been a gear grinder?
Most of the time I've been a gear grinder. Yeah, about 6 years, I'm guessing.
6 years guessing, I understand.
Probably too long.
But too long.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your vehicle, if you have one?
Race vehicle?
Yes, your race vehicle.
We have a small streamliner, little 30 cubic inch.
That must be one of those tiny little cars if it's only 30 inches long.
Yeah, no, that's wide.
Wide,
yeah.
wide.
Yeah, it's actually a bit longer than that.
Okay. Do we have sponsors for this vehicle?
Yeah, Honda sponsors this. Most of it's out of pocket. NOS sponsors this a bit. We have PPG for paint. Mostly out of pocket.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I hope you've got a
Heavy out of pocket.
Heavy out of pocket, deep pocket, I hope. About how many years have you been racing?
All of them.
All of them.
Since about 15 years old, some kind of racing, one or the other.
How did you first get started in it?
I was born into it. My dad was driving midgets when I was born.
Interesting, interesting. Is he still with us?
No, passed away 10 years ago now.
Wow, doggone. What was your first car? Not race car, but your first car that you had?
Had a 30 Model A coupe.
Did you race it?
No, my dad made me keep it stock, afraid I was going to go out and hurt somebody.
Mean old dad.
Yeah. Couldn't wait to modify it, wouldn't let me.
So it wasn't classified as a fast car?
No, 55, you had your hands full.
Where might it be today?
Don't have a clue. I traded it straight across for a 54 Chevy. Don't have a clue where the Model A went. Wish I had it back.
I know what you mean about that. Have any fun things happened while you've been racing?
Yeah, lots of fun things. Most of them I can speak about. One of them, we were Scta points champions, 1998.
By we?
John Wright and Randy Sprans and myself as a team. That was our big achievement and our big goal. We pushed hard for it. Actually wound up earning the whole thing.
That is quite an achievement to get the number one, yes. Are they still with us and around today?
Randy lives in Idaho. John's living on a farm in Woodland.
A farm?
A farm, yeah, he bought the ranch, so to speak. Yeah, 20 acres of dirt.
Outstanding, outstanding. Were there any other fun things that may have happened along the way with your racing? Possibly a spin or a minor crash or even maybe a citation of some sort?
Well, John got it upside down at Bonneville at about 170 to kind of test the paint, and that failed. And then about a year before that, he got on the brakes at El Mirage and rolled it over and took the canopy off. Other than that, we've done the usual, not tied it down on a trailer and dented the front end. You know, little things like that.
Just your normal racing experiences.
Normal run-of-the-mill stuff, yeah.
Is there anything else that might cross your mind at this time that you'd like to share with us?
Not that I can speak in front of a crowd. No.
I understand that perfectly. Thank you for being so candid. Mr. Brandt, is it?
Yeah.
Nice seeing you, and thank you.
Okay.
Good afternoon to you nice gentlemen. We have a few questions to ask here, and if you'd be so kind as to answer them, would be greatly appreciated. First of all, would you pronounce your name and spell it for us?
My name is Alan Rice, A-L-A-N-R-I-C-E.
Thank you very much. And you, sir?
My name is Mark Vigent, M-A-R-K-V-I-G-E-A-N-T.
That's well done and correct, too.
Hi, I'm James Rice, James, Rice.
There's a marked resemblance, but possibly you've been told that before. Yes, having spoken with your mother, she said that there was a marked resemblance. Basically, what we're doing here is just asking some goofy questions like, how long have you been a gear grinder?
I joined the Gear Grinders in April of 1998. I mean, correction, 1989.
And you, Mark?
It was the same night. It was 89.
No, you joined a year before I did. You and James joined before I did. I know exactly when I joined.
Yeah, you were still in the Navy, so that's right. It had to have been September.
Yeah, it was probably around September or August, maybe, of '88.
Was he on our side?
Yes. Yes. In fact, I was still in the Navy when I joined the Gear Grinders. I was just getting out of the Navy.
It's my understanding that you were in the submarine of the
Yes.
Navy.
I was on submarines.
How did you break the open window habit?
It took a long time. There was some incidents we won't go into.
I'd rather not at this time. What is your vehicle?
Our vehicle is the Rice Vigent Belly Tank Lakester, number 9999.
And that number again, sir?
9999.
Would you repeat the number?
99.99.
Very, very good, gentlemen. Do we have sponsors on this vehicle?
Over the years, we've had several sponsors. Our first real sponsor was Mark's Work, which was
It's petroleum recycling. It was a hazardous waste facility up in Signal Hill. They let us build the car there, store it there, supplied nuts and bolts and that type of thing.
Very good.
we now have a current sponsor. Our sponsor is Chronologic Timing. They are the official timing organization for the Bonneville Nationals, and they provide us with all of the expenses that we spend today on the car.
Outstanding.
Yes?
Do you have anything to add to that, James?
No, that's pretty well covers it.
Not coincidentally, James and I own Chronologic Timing.
Oh, no nepotism here, though. No. Good, good. How did you guys get interested in racing?
Well, Mark Vigent. Yeah.
That's been a long, sordid story. I think I saw an article in either Hot Rod Magazine or Street Rod Magazine, and me and James went up to the lake beds, and we said, hey, there's a great thing. It's free. Let's go up, take a look. And then we made the mistake of buying a rule book. And that...
And that?
Yeah, well, you know, Mark said we could build a race car for just a few $100. And well, as you know, it never stops at a few $100, and it's now thousands of dollars, and 12 years or maybe 15 years later, and of course we're still going, and we've done a lot more than we ever expected to do, and had a lot more fun than we ever expected to have.
That's the fun part about it, is the fun. We're not going to spend any money, and just a couple of weekends a year, and yeah, it goes up in a hurry. Let's see. What was the first car that you had?
The first car that I owned?
Yes, it doesn't have to be a race car. Not necessarily a race car, but what was your first car and such?
The first car that I ever owned, I don't remember what year it was built, but it was a twice-totaled Kaiser steel U.S. Postal Jeep that drove on the wrong side.
Gee, they don't make too many of those anymore, do they?
No, and it was a joke amongst my friends in high school that it was a rolling toaster.
And yours, Mark?
Mine was a 31 5-window Ford Coupe.
Do we still have the vehicle?
No, that was once rolled with me in it.
Oh,
He was the only kid in my high school that came to school in his own built hot rod. I'm serious. He built his own hot rod while he was in high school, and he was the only kid to do it.
wow, that's great. So you've been messing around with this stuff for quite a while.
Yeah, I've been doing cars. Started out, helping on my father's hot rods and street rods, and then, I could say I was given my first car because it was in that box and on the trailer, and, I just been doing it ever since.
And you, James, did you just tag along or get hooked?
Well, yeah, sort of both. I tagged along until I got drug along, and well, yeah, it's about how it happened.
I have an understanding, I'd heard a story, and I don't know how true this is, that you fellas are a little hard on vehicles.
Hard on them in what way?
Well, one that went into a submarine situation that the insurance company was somewhat quizzical about.
You would have to ask James about the specifics on that.
James, could you enlighten us a little bit on the underwater car?
Okay, first of all, it wasn't. It was more amphibious, and it really was only about 2 or 3 inches deeper than the car was designed to go.
Nothing serious then.
Dashboard is designed to go underwater.
The dashboard never went underwater. Although
Was designed to go underwater.
although I will admit that I was briefly sitting in water.
Well, it just sounds like the run of the mill, can I borrow the car brother routine.
That was basically what it was. Although the insurance company bought me a new one.
Well, gentlemen, that's about it for today. I won't ask about spins, crashes, a citation, or chases, because I doubt very much if any of you have been involved in anything like that.
Nope, not with our race car especially.
Never convicted.
Nope.
Well, that'll do it for today. Thank you so much for being with us, gentlemen. Take care. Good afternoon, nice young man. May I have your name and the spelling of it, please, sir?
It's Neil Thompson, Neil Thompson.
And that is spelled correctly?
Last time I checked, it was.
Very good, Neil. Basically, today we're just going to have a short bowl session as to your background and et cetera, little things like that. How long have you been a gear grinder?
I've been a gear grinder. It's going on the 4th year.
4th year, I see. What kind of vehicle do you drive?
I drive a Dodge pickup.
And do you have a competition vehicle also?
Yeah, I have a 53 Studebaker coupe chopped down. I got a 34 Roadster, fuel highboy. I got an old dragster.
Have you ever gone very fast in either one of those?
Oh yeah, I went 300 in the coupe, 250 in the Roadster.
You're so casual about it. I mean, this wasn't going to work at that speed, was it?
Well, I was late for lunch down at the Bonneville Salt Flats, so I had to get down there in a hurry before everybody ate all the lunch.
What year might this have been?
I think it was like in 66.
That's
1966, yeah.
Both cars the same year?
No, I ran well, actually in 66, I got in a 200-mile-an-hour club. I went 270, 265 two-way average with a 271 one-way. And then in 1979, I went 298, 94 in the coupe. But I couldn't make a backup run because I completely grenaded the rear end in it.
Ouch. Is it exciting at that speed, never having the pleasure to go that fast?
It's all relevant. It depends on what you want to do, and it's always exciting when you turn the mag switch on anything. I don't care how big or small it is.
Makes your gizzard rattle.
Oh yeah, well, you know, if you're an adrenaline freak, that's what you do it for.
That's super. How many years have you been in racing?
I started going to Bonneville in 1954.
1954. So that's not too many years since when they opened it, is it?
Just a couple years after they opened it.
Great. Have you been going fairly consistent since then?
Up until about the last 10 years, I've never missed a meet.
That's great. Are you intending going back shortly?
Yeah, next year or two, yeah.
Great. We'd love to have you. When did you get interested in racing?
I got interested in racing. I was about 10 years old. My cousin started taking me to Muroc and Rosemond and Cyril's and El Mirage and Santa Ana Drags. Well, before the Santa Ana Drags was out on the old Beach Boulevard.
Oh, prior to, I remember hearing stories about that. I was at the early Santa Ana Drags when we sat on the telephone poles and they started with a flag and Hambone was a timer and this sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's when they used to start up on the hill and get a running start down the hill.
Yeah, right. Let's see. What was your first car, please? Race car?
My first race car was It was in 1955. It was a KD8 chassis research I got from Hayden Profit when I was in high school, and Chet Herbert gave us a Chevy V8 for it, and Weber gave us a flywheel and a half-inch stroke crank and a bunch of other stuff, and we ended up with the Seagas dragster records, I think, at all the drag strips in Southern California with it in the next 2 years.
Outstanding, outstanding. Well, any fun things ever happen to you, Neil, pertaining to possibly a spin or an earned citation or possibly a chase of some sort?
Oh, I don't know. I've run a cross-country gumball rally race a couple times. That was fun. I set a record once at Bonneville, 213 back. Not at Bonneville, at Dry Lakes, actually 213 backwards.
Backwards?
Yeah, backwards in a belly tank, a D-leg stroke.
That must have been interesting.
It was exciting. It was exciting. Of course, old George Bentley had to be the first one there to congratulate me.
I understand that you have quite a situation that you were the first one to ever wear a fire suit at Bonneville Salt Flats. Is that correct?
Yeah, metallized fire suit. That's correct. That's correct. A lady in San Francisco that makes them for the fire departments up there, she made it for me. I'd seen one. I was driving a fuel altered up at Fremont when I happened to see one of these fire suits that she made, and I thought, you know, I'd sure like to have one of those for Bonneville, and she made one for me. And
do you recall her name?
I think it was Shirley Stringer was her last name.
She's gone a long way from there, hasn't she?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
That's very good to hear. Well, Neil, we don't need to keep you all day and the whole bit, and we're certainly glad that you could make it to our little gathering this afternoon, and we look forward to seeing you soon out there playing in the dirt and the salt.
Well, I'm sure you will.
Thank you so very much.
You're welcome, anytime.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, heads up, car 500, underway.
Good afternoon. How are you today?
I'm doing just great.
Pardon me, I'll screw this up real good. Hi, John, how the hell are you?
Fantastic. I don't know. You're not behind the wheel. Of
No,
course.
no, this is perfectly all right. Basically, I would like you to give and spell your name if you would.
John Bradshaw. JOHNBRADSHAW.
That's correct. Thank you so much.
Survey says.
Survey says right here. Basically, we're going to ask a few questions this afternoon, and just to find out a little bit of what you've been doing. How long have you been in the gear grinders?
Been in the gear grinders for a year now.
What do you think of?
I enjoy it a lot. It's been a trip.
There are some interesting people in it.
Oh, that's for sure. A lot of interesting people.
We don't need to go any further into that, but you know what I mean.
Okay, I understand.
How long have you been driving?
I've been driving for a year. I started out last year with Lester's car as a part-time driver. Casey drove, and then I was licensing. I ran, I think it was May and June, and then I went to Bonneville. And
Did you do worth a darn?
no, I got my B license.
And that would be?
That would be up to 200 miles an hour. I went 187 miles an hour in June, and then 175 miles an hour in May.
That's great. How's it feel?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. My wildest dreams, I'd have never dreamed this could ever happen.
Lester builds a fairly good car.
Lester is awesome. He builds an awesome car. It's just, how can you explain it?
That's good. That's good. How did you get interested in racing?
I've been interested in racing since I was a kid. It's been like a lifelong dream. I used to race motorcycles. I learned how to ride bikes from John DeSoto's family and motocross.
I noticed you limped, so I figured that you'd had some pre-racing on something other than a car.
Yeah, I've had plenty of racing. I did flat track, TT, motocross, and drag racing. I got into drags when I was younger too. But then when I got out of high school and stuff, got married, and then got away from cars and bikes for a while, and then all of a sudden I got back into bikes, and then before you know it, I ran into John Salkins, and John Salkins introduced me to Lester Leggett, and this is where it's at now.
Well, I can't say too much for your friends, but we're certainly glad that you're able to run with us and have a doggone good time. It's nice having you around.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you a little later then. Take care and go out there and play in the sand.
Right on. Thanks a lot. Okay.
1875 at 215, 226. There's no shoot down there. 215, 226.
No shoot. Why not?
I think the chute just
Down there 11, you might have to check.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, press. That's what it says right on the head there.
Starting to whisper.
Oh, good.
Bye, John.
Then your interview people start to whisper, so you got to talk loud.
Talk louder to me.
They remember to talk loud.
All right.
This has got to be quick.
Okay, this will be quick.
I don't like to talk a lot.
Ooh, thank you. Thank you. You don't give these type of interviews? Sir, would you please give me your name and spell it for me, please?
My name, Jose Menace. Oh. What do you mean spell it?
Please. Please spell it.
George Vose. V-O-S-E. Vose.
As in Vos.
Vose.
How long have you been a gear grinder, sir?
8 years.
Oh. What is your vehicle?
I run a 1921 Isetta.
Wow, how fast do you go on that or in that car, sir?
I went 16 miles an hour last year for a new world's record.
Wowee, you must be very proud.
I am very proud.
Oh, that is good to hear. How many years have you been in racing, sir?
105 years.
Oh, did they have cars in those days?
Yes, we had an 1897 Oldsmobile we went 14 miles an hour with.
In the double digits. That's outstanding, sir.
Almost as fast as your Roadster.
Hang it in your ear. How did you get interested in racing?
I fell down and I had to go to the hospital and have my owie repaired.
Your owie repaired. Could you enunciate some more on your owie?
No.
Oh, okay. What was your first car?
1921 Hupmobile.
Wonderful vehicle. Mr. Hupmo was a friend of ours.
Yes, Julius Hupmo.
And his Beal.
It is Bill.
He had a spiel too, a clock. No, different guy. No. Any fun things happen in your life?
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that. Possibly a spin or a citation or maybe a chase of some sort.
I chased my bunny around the house.
Yeah, well, possibly we shouldn't go too far into that, sir.
I did catch him, though.
Oh.
He was a nice bunny.
Oh, carry on. It's been so nice chatting with you. By the way,
what?
what is that yellow thing you drive around in on the salt?
Oh, the 1975 Chevy Monza?
Is that what it is?
Yes, it goes almost 250 miles an hour. It's just a pup, though.
Just a pup, though. Well, it must be very difficult to drive with just one arm.
I cannot elaborate on this.
Oh, well, I just thought I'd ask.
I can't give away my driving secrets.
I understand that your car drives so smoothly you can drive it with one arm. Is that correct, sir?
With a beer in the beer holder.
Oh, jawohl. We like to hear about that, too. Has that car ever changed directions while you or someone else were driving it?
Let's see. An old friend of mine, Martin Hansen,
Wet Pants Hansen?
Wet Pants Hansen. Yes, he seems to have spun it at over 200 miles an hour.
Why would he do something like that, George?
Just to experience it.
I heard that he said golly at the end of the spins. Is that correct?
No, it was. I can't elaborate on that.
Well, will the car be running this year, and will you be record-breaking, we hope?
It will, and Howard Halfman will break the record. First meet.
Great. Thank you so very much, George, and we'll see you on the dirt and the salt. Thanks for being with us.
It's been a pleasure.
You lie like a rug. I can talk loud too. He told me this twice today.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Derek.
How are you?
I'm fine.
I'll give you my name later.
Spell it for us.
Derek McLeish. DEREK MCLEISH.
Wow. Thank you so very much. May I ask you a few pertinent questions?
As long as you don't get personal.
Well, this interview's over. How long have you been a gear grinder?
3 years now.
In a row.
That is correct.
They've let you stay this long?
They tried to get rid of me, but you know, somehow I did something funkier next time around, so they let me in.
What type? You're dribbling off on your voice. We have to take a little. What type of vehicle do you have?
I have a 175, 100cc, 50cc, 350cc, 500cc sidecar weirdness factor car.
Isn't that difficult to drive with all those motors in it at the same time?
I put them between my legs.
Oh. How many years have you been racing, Derek?
Since 1965.
In many places in the world?
I've raced from Caracas, Venezuela to around the world, a lot in Colombia, Latin America, all over the place.
How long has your father been on the lam?
He has not. I've been fortunate to sponsor some very fast people in my lifetime, too.
We're glad to hear about that. I understand there's about a couple, 3 other brothers in the family, too?
There's 4 of us. That's why we call ourselves Team McLeish Brothers. And we've got lots of sons and grandsons in the track. So we're trying to get everybody to do the same thing. And
outstanding. Having been around you for a short time, we certainly enjoy your company and have a whole lot of fun laughs.
Thank you, okay.
Good afternoon.
Hello?
Would you be so kind as to state your name and spell it?
State my name.
State your name.
Bob, B-O-B, Webb, W-E-B-B.
Outstanding. Outstanding. How long have you been a gear grinder?
Since 1987. How long is that?
How would I know?
15 years or something like that. About 15 years, yeah.
What was your first car?
My first car?
Your first car?
1930 Model A512 Coupe.
Do you still have?
Brown.
Brown. That was a nice color in those years, yes.
Two-tone brown. Well,
what did you do with it?
I sold it.
Oh,
I sold it. I traded it for a 1936 5-window and about 50 bucks.
Oh, so you made money on the deal. First one you ever did that happened to, right? What is your connection with the gear grinders?
Gear grinders right now, I've been president for year 2001, 2002. I was president every other year with Glenn Barrett for 3 or 4 years. I was the secretary of the gear grinders when I first went into it because the Hightower, that was named Clint Hightower, had quit because he was having problems with his future father-in-law, Les Liggett. And somebody said, "You're it." I said, "What?" "Well, you're taking notes and you're the secretary now." And I don't know how many years, quite a few years, I was a secretary, 5 or 6 years.
Did you like it?
Huh?
Okay.
No comment.
How did you get interested in racing?
When I was a little kid, my family was lakes racers.
They raced lakes?
Street racers.
That was illegal, wasn't it?
Even before there was drag racing, we drag raced on the streets in North Hollywood.
Wow.
Satakoy, Van Owen.
All those quiet residential streets.
Kind of. Yeah, it's good that way. What's your problem?
Was your first car
No.
fast?
No.
Okay. Have any fun things happened to you during your tenure as a racer?
As a racer? Oh, yeah, I've been helping Glenn in the tower.
No, I said fun thing.
That's fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have this conversation that goes on all day long between the two of us, and we
Shut up and do it.
home,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah, you know how that is.
Where's lunch?
Around there. Yeah, where's lunch?
Been there, done
Been there, done it. That's it. Yeah.
Anything exciting like possibly a spin or a citation or maybe a crash? You know,
No.
one of those safe drivers.
Yes, except for white little cars, I back into them.
White little cars.
Not one, but 3.
What was that you had?
I don't know. She doesn't. She's adding to the conversation. She don't know what she's talking about.
Do you have a dog?
Yes.
Does it look like a dog?
Real? No. It looks like a cotton ball.
Cotton ball.
Big fluffy thing.
Big fluffy thing. Does it keep you company?
Yes.
That's nice. Well, nice talking with you, Bob, and your dog. Come by and see us anytime. Your name?
Am I on television?
Yes. See the light comes on. You're on. Yes. Could we have your name and could you spell it, please?
Bob. B-O-B. Same as yours. What?
The other name.
Oh, Opperman. O-P-P-E-R-M-A-N-N.
You got that right. Yeah. Thank you, Lois. We are asking some questions this afternoon, and we would greatly improve it if we were to have some answers to these dumb questions I'm asking, such as.
Go ahead.
Thank you. How long have you been a gear grinder?
Since 1985.
Was that a bad year for you?
No, it was a fairly good year. Yeah.
Oh.
Didn't have anything to do.
Oh, nothing to do, so join a gear. Well, that's okay. What type of vehicle do you drive? A race car?
Oh, it's an old dragster. Next.
What color is it?
It used to be primer, which is actually dry lake suede.
Dry lake suede.
Now it's bright yellow.
With red ends.
With red ends. Yes.
The flying banana.
Yes.
What is its power plant?
It's a big, long, old Buick engine.
My uncle had a Buick.
Yeah, my grandfather had a Buick.
Have you been successful with it?
Yes.
Are we losing enough weight this year to drive it?
I certainly hope so.
Me too.
Yeah.
Golly, that'd be a lot of fun to see us both race together.
Glad to get back in the thing, yeah.
In your suit, too.
Yeah, with the suit on.
What was your first car?
1928 Chevrolet.
Wish you had it back?
Yep.
I took a picture of you by a green one, and you smiled in that picture.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, yep. Up in...
Yes, up in Ukiah. Yeah, it was in front of Tim's house before it fell down, and I...
He had a big old motor in it.
Yeah, and that's when I destroyed the shower. Oh, well, that's the way it go. Was your first car fast?
Not particularly.
What else is new then?
Oh. But it beat every Model A in town.
Oh, well, as long.
It was the last of the four-cylinder Chevys, and it was faster than every four-cylinder Model A in town.
Now,
so in that respect, it was fast.
What town?
The city of. I have to say it?
No.
It's over that way.
Over that way. Well, now, if they had, what, one car of each brand, then you were the winner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big town.
Yeah, big town. Yeah, yeah, yep.
Have you ever received any awards or citations or for possibly a spin or a crash or exceeding the speed or anything of that nature?
Yeah.
Would you care to count how many?
I don't. I have lost track.
Not enough toes and fingers. And that's just in this year alone.
Yeah.
Do you live in a vehicle?
Yes.
Don't mean.
I can't get out of the damn thing.
You have two houses, one with wheels and one without?
With wheels, one without. Yes.
One has a lake view and one without?
It has various views. Yeah, parking lots, dry lakes, wet lakes, salt lakes, whatever you want. You know.
It's hell to be on the lam, isn't it?
Boy, it sure is. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon, Mr. Opperman.
I'm sure glad you got to see me again.
I am too.
See you next year.
Bye.
At this time.
Yes, sir.
Does that mean I'm dismissed?
Get out of here. Bye. Won't hurt. We may be dead tomorrow.
Hi, Bob.
Hi. Good afternoon. It certainly is. Would you be so kind as to pronounce and spell your name for the Canberra?
Hello, I'm Glenn.
That's it. Spell it.
Glen Barrett. Barrett.
Is that correct?
That's English.
That's English. That's not correct then. How long have you been a gear grinder?
Since 1983. And prior to that, I joined Scta in 1953 and was in the Albatross Club for a few years.
The Albatross Club?
Albatross.
What's an albatross?
It's Greek for white chariot. Don't you know anything?
Ooh, chariot racing. You go back a long time.
I'm old.
Not as old as I am.
Nobody's as old as you are.
How many years have you been racing, Glenn?
Since 1951.
Done any fun things behind the wheel?
All fun things.
Well, we won't go. How did you get interested in racing?
I went to the drag races one day with my brother, and it's kind of stuck with me ever since.
Got rid of the brother and bought a car and been at it and messing around ever since.
Something like that.
Is he still with us?
Yes, he is.
Does he enjoy racing?
No.
Oh. Does anybody else in your family enjoy racing?
My daughter and son-in-law.
And your lovely bride?
Occasionally.
I understand that thoroughly. What was your first car?
1930 Model A that would beat four-cylinder Chevys anywhere in town.
Oh, what town might that have been?
That was in Lomita, and it had a four-port Riley in it, and it would kick butt.
Would you like to have it back now?
Love to have it back.
They're fun, those four-bangers. Anything fun happen in your racing life?
Most everything was fun. A couple of crazy things happened, you know.
Would you care to relate one or two of them?
Probably the most exciting thing that ever happened was at Bonneville in 1957 when I broke a crankshaft going about 217.
Now, is that...
decided to lock the rear wheels up at that time and turn me around a few times.
I presume that would be that it was terminated the motor?
Yeah, I made a V4 out of each end of it.
Walked away to tell about it. That's a fun part.
The rear engine roadster.
Greatly appreciate the conversation this afternoon. We're running out of time because they're about to throw us out.
Well, tell your wife hello for me.
I will definitely do that, and you do the same.
Okay, what was your name?
Bob. B-O-O-B.
Well, thank you, Robert. You have a nice day.
I'm going to try. Bye-bye.
9:30 at 149.
Good afternoon, sir. Would you be so kind as to state your name and spell it?
My name is Winkeller.
We'll have to speak a little louder because I'm told to tell you that.
Why do you have to speak so loud?
Because the guy over there told me to.
Okay. My name's Winkeller, Winkeller.
Oh. How long you been a gear grinder, big feller?
I've been a gear grinder. I've been a gear grinder since 1992, I think, or 3.
That's just about the same time I came in, about a year after that, I believe it was. Yeah, kind of a flaky outfit, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, a bunch of old geezers, and us young guys are going to take over in the geezer spots and be geekier geezers.
Well, I understand that's about to happen. This is actually a fake beard that I wear. Is that an original?
This is an original beard since the 8th grade.
Do you have fire insurance on yours?
No.
Has it ever? Yes. Yeah, mine too.
Yes, yes, it has.
How many years you been in racing, Wink?
I've been in racing probably. I would say I've been in racing probably a good 20 years.
Do you enjoy it?
Very much so. Very, very much so.
Have you done anything exciting while racing?
Well, if you call falling off of motorcycles and going fast exciting, yeah.
It seems to me that might have a little ring to it there. Yes, and able to get up and limp away.
Absolutely.
You've never broken anything while doing this, have you?
Oh, I've broke many a bones, and motorcycle mixing up. They seem to always win.
Oh, well, that's what fun's all about, I guess. What was your first car?
My first car was a 1947 Plymouth taxi cab.
Taxi cab?
A taxi cab.
Did it have the clock in it and the whole bit?
No, it didn't have the clock, but it still had the checkerboards on the doors, and it was pretty fun going back and forth to school.
Would you like to have it back today?
I would love to have it back, but it's probably somebody's Campbell soup can, probably 2 or 3 times over by now.
Been crushed, darn it. When did you start into bikes, Wink?
I started into bikes when I was probably about 8.5 years old.
Now, was your dad involved in this? Your brothers and such, or?
My father. Yeah, my father rode a Harley, and then I got into bikes when I was about 8.5, and then was riding on the street right after as soon as I got my driver's license, and I've been riding bikes since.
You mean you have to have a license to ride one of those murder cycles?
Well, to be legal, you do.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Down here we have another little question here. Have any fun things ever happened, like maybe a spin or a citation that you might remember, or something of that nature?
Yeah, I've got my share of tickets on the street, and that's one of the reasons that I run at El Mirage in Bonneville, because they don't give us tickets, they give us awards.
That's the fun part. Wink, thank you so very much for taking a few moments out of your busy day and saying hello to the group for us. Really appreciate it.
All right, my wife's next.
Could you pronounce and spell your name?
My name is Johan. Johan Björkman.
Björkman?
Yeah, I come from the old country, you know.
What is the old country, you know?
Sweden.
Sweden?
Yeah, we up in the north.
The north end of Sweden. So is this a northern accent we got?
You betcha.
By yumpin' Yemeni, I thought you was a southerner.
No. We come from the north with where they wear the horns, you know.
A horny northerner. Oh, I knew I'd seen you somewhere around. Yes. How long have you been a gear grinder, sir?
I joined the gear grinders in 1988, I believe it was.
That's been a while back then.
No, it's actually 87.
Let's be accurate about this. This is, we have to be accurate about this sort of thing. What do we run today?
Right now, we're trying to run a Lakester. If we can ever get the parts to get it back into running, we broke it last year, and we're trying to get a crankshaft built because it's very custom. It's being a 2-cylinder Keith Black motor.
Pardon me, a KB 2-cylinder. Is this a unique vehicle?
This is very unique. It's 120 cubic inch, made out of a V8, made it down to a V2, and we still run it blown and with nitromethane.
Now, this down to a V2, is this from on purpose or just sloppy machining?
This all came about one night when I was over at a friend's shop drinking too much.
Been there, done that.
Done that. I says, I can do it, and then I had to prove it.
Outstanding.
So we basically got the whole motor together, and we run about 45 pounds of boost and 80% nitro, and make a lot of noise and a lot of horsepower, and we're still having teething problems keeping it all together, but it's quite unique and quite fun.
I had the pleasure of visiting your garage one day, and I noticed there were no flies around. Is this because of the nitro that you run through that thing?
It does keep the air clean. Yeah.
What was your first car, John?
Street car, race car.
Oh, either one.
First street car I had was a 49 Buick with a straight 8.
My uncle had a Buick.
Yeah, a Buick Special. And I didn't have that very long. My parents sold it for me. Played around too much. And then I got into I had a 55 Chevy when I was going to high school and stuff. So.
You're enjoying what you're doing today?
Yeah. The dry lakes in Bonneville it's a lot of fun because you can't win anything. So you just spend your money, have your fun, and
keeps you off.
Great bunch of people.
Thank you, and it keeps you off the street too.
Yeah.
Has anything exciting ever happened to you while you had your car?
Well, back in 1988. We were running a streamlined motorcycle, and I seemed to get a little out of control at about 180 miles an hour and tumbled it down the lake bed, totally destroying the vehicle and walking away with a minor concussion and not a bruise on me other than that. So,
did this curtail your motorcycling for a while?
Only in the race bike type of thing. I still ride the street every once in a while, but I don't seem to have time to do that.
Have you done anything else that's kind of exciting?
Well, I used to run professional hill climb motorcycles. I did that for years and years and years, and I got out of that, and I sort of graduated to 4 wheels and went dry lakes racing. So.
How many wheels are on your car now?
Well, now there's 6 wheels on it.
6?
We actually have 4-wheel drive, and the 4-wheel that drive it are in the rear, and the car is 30 feet long, so we want the extra traction that the 4-wheel drive will give us.
Does this vehicle have a name?
This vehicle's called Freightliner.
Pardon me?
Freightliner.
Hark! How could you get a name like that?
Well, we basically looked at the wheel configuration and says, that looks like a Freightliner, and we didn't want to infringe upon their name, so we picked Freightliner because it is a frightful thing going down the racetrack.
How do you get it in the trailer?
Well, we actually take it apart. It's a 2-piece.
A 2-piece Freightliner 6-wheeler. Carry on, John.
The car is 30 feet long, and when we break it down into the trailer, it breaks down into basically 2 15-foot sections, and we take the front section off, and it rolls up on ramps up on top of the trailer and hangs from the ceiling. And then the bottom section, we bolt on a big, large caster wheel on the front so we can roll it around. That rolls up in the trailer underneath.
I think I saw you put it in the trailer one day. It seemed to me like you had 2 wheelbarrows. Is that, and you were rolling them in there?
Well, that's the front section. It has a hand sort of dolly arrangement that plugs into it so you can carry it in like a wheelbarrow.
You've been on this stuff for quite a long time, John, that you keep thinking up these weird vehicles?
I think it's the nitro.
It'll melt the wax in your ear. John, it's been a great pleasure chatting, and we'll do this again soon, I hope. Thank you so much for being with us. Good afternoon.
My name is Bob Sykes, not to be confused with Bob Seitz.
What type of confusion might there be?
Probably the way the names sound, they kind of sound close.
Close to what?
Close to the same.
Oh, does your mail ever get screwed up?
No, but the roll call always does.
We've had some pretty good times the short amount of time that we've known each other, in that both your father and my son's father, being me, were gear grinders, as you and your dad were, and that really has fun in a meeting.
Oh, it really does. What can I say? I have to straighten you out. My dad was never a gear grinder.
My mistake. When can we get him to join?
Oh, anytime. He's only 80 now. He's still got time.
No problem there. He's got a lot of time to run.
500 miles to get to the meetings.
Okay, once a year maybe. Bob, what type of car do you drive? Pardon me, race car.
Oh, I have a 67 Camaro Supercharged 302. Been running for 22 years. Well, it's been sitting for the last couple of years, but anyway, that's my toy.
How many doors on it at some time or another?
Usually has 2 doors, but one time it had 1 door when another.
Why would it have only 1 door, Bob?
One competitor tore my door off when I left it open. He came by with his parachute open and tore it off. It was very discouraging.
You can't really get a good spray can yellow to match that way, too, on one of those older cars.
No, you can't. I went to several, Pep Boys to try to get the right color yellow to match, and I just couldn't get it to match anymore.
Well, I happen to have a selection of half-used cans at home that I'd be more than happy to bring over.
Bring them on. We'll try them out. The paint's so expensive these days. I'll take whatever I can get.
Wonderful, wonderful. Are you involved with any other vehicle?
My brother's got a 1929 fuel. Well, it's got a 29 body on a 32 frame he built with a blown Chrysler in it, and we're trying for the 241 record that the Temple set in 1978, I guess.
Have we been close to that at all?
He ran 218 on methanol 2 years ago, and we didn't go last year because my father has had some medical problems. And but we feel that we have a pretty good chance with it this year. We're gonna run 50% and give it a shot.
Where did you get the lovely color for that Roadster?
My brother actually had a granola bar wrapper.
Pardon me?
It was a granola bar wrapper. He took it over to the PPG paint store, and they matched it.
Wow. My hat's off to the granola people for their taste in color. It is just an outstanding vehicle.
It is a pretty orange color, and thankfully for that color, and my brother actually painted that car in a barn. Everybody's got to see it. He didn't do it in a spray booth, and he won first place. They gave him a trophy for the best appearing car in 1999, I believe.
Outstanding, outstanding. So basically, it might be said that your entire family have been involved in busting nuts and racing and this sort of stuff through the years.
Well, my dad was originally a cam grinder for Clay Smith until he passed away in the mid-50s, and then he was Keith Black's first mechanic. Keith Black's racing engines that started in 1957 in Keith's backyard. And they worked for him for quite a while and jumped between him and Bill Strop. And then we did a little Chrysler Corporation stuff, did Indy project, IndyCar project in 1968. And then some Trans Am stuff. Keith Black did the CUDA program the same time that Gurney was doing the AAR Challengers.
Besides that, what's he done? Oh, Lord, there's 2 lifetimes right there that anybody would have. That's super.
I'm pretty proud of my father. He also was teamed up with Jim Fredericks with the Superbird, and they I think they went 2-way they went one way, 217, but 2-way record finally before they retired the car in B altered. So we were pretty proud of that.
You must be. I sure like your mom, too. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah, she's put up with nothing but boys for all these years, and I don't know how she's done it, but she's a sweetheart, and she's with Dad's medical problems, she's been taking care of him pretty good too. So I couldn't find a finer person than my mother.
Very nice of you to say that, Bobby. Take care, will you? And take care of your lovely bride, and we'll see you around. Okay? See you on the dirt and the salt.
All right, Bobby. Take care.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Would you be so kind as to state your name and spell it for us, please?
My name is Judy Seitz.
Excuse me, could you be a little louder into the microphone, please?
My name is Judy Seitz, Judysigghts. Did I spell it right?
To the best of my knowledge, yes. How are you today?
I'm a very happy lady.
That's good. Why?
Because we got a prize for having the top points car for the gear grinders this year.
Who is we?
You and me.
Ain't that great?
And Charlie Guthrie.
And Charlie Guthrie and a long list of people who helped us that it would take a day and a half to thank, and we're so grateful for that. Can you tell me how long you've been a gear grinder?
I think it's been 5 or 6 years, not sure. You know, it's hard to tell time when you're having so much fun.
And when you get older like us, too. Yeah, I would, wouldn't I? How long have you been interested in racing?
Most of my life, I think it started with my father and my brother getting me interested. I was always a spectator until the last few years.
It's more fun playing than watching, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
What was your first car?
It was a 1941 Chevy, four-door sedan.
Anything unique about it?
I got to adjust the tappets.
Ooh, a born mechanic. What was your, what is the fastest speed? Oh, by the way, you do drive a race car, don't you? What might it be?
I drive a 1927 Model T street roadster with an H-Class engine, 81 Ford Escort 4-cylinder.
How many cubic inches might that be?
Right now, it doesn't have very many cubic inches at all, but it was 87.2, and we hope to go higher.
We can't tell much higher, though. Have you gone very fast in that car?
My top speed is 113.5.
Must have been a tailwind of some sort.
Thanks.
Well, it's been so nice chatting with you. Now would you load up the truck so we can go home? Take care, my love. See you later.
I have to vacuum first.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, 624 with a time of 1:13.538.
Goodbye. This has been a great pleasure for me this afternoon, and I sincerely hope that we can use some of this stuff to make a tape so that we can have some more fun with that. If it wasn't for Mark and his marvelous machine here, we wouldn't have the entertainment that we have. Greatly appreciate it, and thank you so much, Mark, for putting up with us and all this time. Hope to see you out in the dirt and the salt, and keep on racing. See you later, and thank you very much.